Everybody, Steph from the Hot Moon Podcast. So, very interesting news with Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless. I mean, it's not as if Stephen A. Smith is not in the news already. And also, too, Skip Bayless is, his name is in that Fox report. But, Skip is not going to address that. And business as usual for Skip on his own podcast, Skip Bayless Show. So, according to Front Office Sports, Skip is set to, he already has a tape podcast already with Stephen A. Smith. Okay, crazy how this got leaked out. Stephen A. Smith didn't mention anything. Skip Bayless didn't mention anything. But yeah, okay. Hearing that Skip taped an episode in his podcast, Stephen A. Smith, to be released next week. Very interesting dynamic at this current juncture of Stephen A. Smith's career and Skip Bayless's career. We know how he, they fired him or he left because they couldn't reach a contract agreement. And I'm sure they probably happy they didn't reach some type of contract agreement, considering just kind of Skip Bayless's name is in that lawsuit. And we saw Joy Taylor get put off the air. So who's to say that Skip Bayless wouldn't have gotten pulled off the air and make a fuss about it if he was still on Fox? Okay. What could they talk about, man? Very interesting after Stephen A. got his deal. Okay, and you see, obviously Skip, was a creator of First Take, or at least just the original host of it, and then Stephen A. came in as a partner, and then they took off. And after they took off, Skip decided to get more money and go to Fox. Follow one of the producers or whatever at ESPN that went on to go to Fox. Okay, cool. And then after that, we know how electrifying his career, Skip and Shannon, that dynamic was. And that fizzled out, right? So is Stephen A. throwing Skip a bone, right? I mean, Stephen A. on many occasions prior to this news said that he hasn't spoken to Skip, he said, in years, right? So is Stephen A., I wonder what this is. Is he just doing an old pal a favor? What could they talk about? I mean, this is going to be a very this could be a very explosive podcast in a good way. You know what I'm saying? This is definitely going to generate a massive audience. We know how much Skip and Stephen A. went back and forth. Okay, is it possible that Stephen A. and Skip could this be a potential reoccurring theme? We know the audience, the visibility that Stephen A. Smith has on all platforms, on TV and on the internet, and could this be a way of helping out an old friend? I mean, I don't think Stephen A. Smith owes Skip Bayless anything. He was able to give Stephen the opportunity. He made the most of it. Okay, if Skip didn't want to leave First Take, then he would have stayed, right? And it would have been that. But Stephen A., you gotta give him credit. After Skip left, okay, he still was able to maintain their numbers and supersede Undisputed when Skip was on Fox, right? So he's not. And Stephen A's already mentioned how many times he's been thankful and giving thanks to Skip Bayless, you know what I'm saying? But at some point, the thanks you got to stop, okay? And then you got to look at Skip Bayless' career and where it's been, right? Just very odd timing, very unique timing, considering, just like I said, Stephen A got his new contract, getting $20 million a year. Skip's career kind of seemed like it's on the downturn. He should retire, but he's not. He loves to run his mouth and tweet and everything. So I'm very curious what this podcast episode is going to entail. I'm sure they're probably going to dig deep on just the success of First Take, and then probably just the exit. And both guys are going to back down, so I'm sure they're going to might get a little tense as they stay strong with their opinions on who was right and who's in the wrong. And obviously they're going to talk about probably LeBron James and a whole bunch of stuff, right? So should do numbers for Skip. I think this should help his platform. And maybe this could be a reoccurring theme. Would Stephen A. do something every now and then with Skip on his platform to help the old guy out with his numbers now that Stephen A. is secure with his online platform and he got his TV money, right? We shall see. Anyways, guys, very interesting news. Let me know what you think about all this, man. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe. I'm out.